Hey guys, welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, guys. So there's just a lot that's going on. What is it? If you hear some wind coming through, I got the window open. It feels very nice outside today in Texas. It says here, Ohio train derailment has killed off thousands of animals. Now I have watched this multiple times, and I have seen the videos of what looks like a nuclear bomb, right? Nuclear. It's a black cloud, and then there's like a fixed black space that's just like, it hasn't spread all over the place, but it goes up and it looks like it's fixed, and it looks nuts. I have listened to so many stories about this from people on TikTok, people on other platforms, mostly TikTok actually, and then some on, I think, Instagram and Facebook. But all that to say, this is nuts, and being told or hearing from people over there that East Palestine, that they are downplaying the actual aftermath of that, and then hearing about two other train derailments. I think one was in North Carolina and one was in Houston, Texas. And thinking, okay, how did these just go back to back to back to back? And then there was another article that I just saw here talking about watch, Arizona authorities have issued evacuation and shelter in place orders after nitric acid spill. What is happening? Okay. We got balloons in the sky. We've got, supposedly balloons in the sky. We got all kinds of stuff that's happening. Things are being shot down that are being called unidentified flying paper planes. I don't know if I can even say the word, if it'll trigger something. So let's just read this article, and then we'll get into the rest of it. Thousands of animals have died in East Palestine, Ohio, in the aftermath of the train derailment that sent numerous hazardous substances into surrounding areas. Officials said on Tuesday that the immediate following days of February 3rd incident was 3,500 dead fish as local waterways, including the Ohio River, became contaminated. Now, something about the Ohio River feeds into multiple other states, and so the fact that that's contaminated, and then if that's if that's like a main river line, then are you going to have safe water? Are you going to be able to drink that? There was something that came out last year called Watch the Water. And I watched that, a little series, excuse me. It was just a YouTube video or a slight movie of sort. I think it was an hour. And it was pretty surreal. So let's keep reading. During the incident, 38 train cars derailed, goodness gracious, including several cars that were carrying hazardous materials that each pose a set of their own health risks. That's 38 health risks. That's crazy. On the day of derailment, there was evidence that one of the trains was carrying and releasing vinyl chloride, a known carcinogen that is being linked to a rare and exceptionally deadly form of liver cancer. Nobody wants to hear about that, right? Nobody wants to even think that this is what's happening. You're carrying them on railways, and is the railway organization and or station or people who are operating these railway, goodness gracious, say that 5 times fast. Are they allowed to do that? And then I heard that something about this is very, very parsed here is that something about one of the car locks, I think, broke off because one of the railroads or the railroad tracks, not the railroad tracks, one of the trains or something like that. It's something a really, really old. But don't take that with a grain of salt, okay? Let's just keep going. 3 days later, on February 6th, crews conducted a controlled release of toxic chemicals from train cars that were in danger of exploding. It didn't take long for a massive dark plume to develop above the site. That's what I saw. And for people near the area to see and smell the toll of the incident, that's crazy. It's now a viral TikTok. One person shows numerous dead fish with an eerily foggy creek that says it's 2 miles from the train derailment. Mary Mertz, the director of Ohio Department of Natural Resources, said on Tuesday that it's estimated about 3,500 dead fish. That's probably lowballing like crazy. Have been found in local streams, tributaries, and waterways, accounting for at least 12 different species. The good news is that none of those species are threatened or endangered, but it's still a loss of wildlife. Okay, that means nothing to anybody. They were talking about water. Among the dead fish species are creek chub, mottled sculpin, stone rollers. She said the department is also monitoring the derailment impact on hellbender salamanders, the state largest species of amphibian, that are also endangered. According to the department, the animals are susceptible to poor water quality and excessive still station of streams. The majority of the fish and aquatic creatures counted to estimate seem to have died within the first couple of days of derailment, she said. Wildlife officers have been there every day on the scene, working with contractors who are in the water doing the net sampling, making the estimates. She said, we'll continue to monitor what's going on and eventually hold those responsible accountable for the loss of wildlife. And this, nobody cares about wildlife. Nobody cares about that. I care about human life. Like, what about the human life and the water that you're ingesting? Is that a part of this? Is it not? If it is, then how do you fix that? You know, last year I bought a water filtration system for my house. So I have these two big containers, one for just filtering out the water through this carbon fiber that's really nice, and then one that has just full of salt, right? It hits every part of my house. I can go to every faucet, doesn't matter, from this sink to my bathroom sinks to my kitchen to any sink in the house to even outside. It hits every single one of them. Fresh, clean water, and it tastes different. It tastes soft, right? It's water softener, but it's amazing. And thinking about, like, man, like, you can go X amount of time without water with food, but you cannot go that long without water. I forgot how long it is. I don't know, 7 days, maybe something like that. Could be overshooting that. Don't quote me. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. That's crazy. And nobody cares about the wildlife. Like, at that point, nobody's talking about that. Like, what about the human life? What about the people who live in the area, the people who receive water from there? What about their wells? What about, is it in the ground? It's in the air, and I heard it was supposed to make acidic rain. Like, it's like acid. That's crazy. That's acid rain. You mean, hey, let's just hang out and watch my house melt. Oh, and my skin is melting as well. This is something out of a horror movie. Like, nobody cares about that. However, Mertz said, we don't have any evidence of non-aquatic species suffering from the derailment. Not only here, but we also communicate with Pennsylvania Game Commission as well, as they haven't heard about that either. I have seen all kinds of TikTok videos over this, and this seems like it's almost like they're talking about two different stories, because this sounds like we cannot say such and such. This sounds like, this guy, it sounds exactly like that. The rhetoric, the conversations behind it, the narrative behind it, this is nuts. It's exactly what's happening with the stuff that's being shot down in the skies. The nitric acid in Arizona, what is going on there? What is it? I mean, there's so much that's happening, guys, and I feel like I'm just trying to get ahead of everything. But it's clear. Mark 13, Luke 21, and Matthew 24 all talk about things that will happen in the end, but the end is not yet, right? You hear wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famines, pestilences, earthquakes, lawlessness causing the love of many to grow cold. And things are like birth pains, but the end is not yet. These are birth pains. These are things that are going to start happening, birth pains. I would consider these Braxton Hicks until the real birth pain starts happening, to when everything's being shaken because the Lord is coming, the end is coming, and I feel like we're right there. So, and it just more and more. I mean, literally, people are finally talking about UFOs. We got UFO talk happening, and it's just happening nonstop. I'll make another video over that just to talk about that, so I don't make this in too long. But let me know what you guys think about this. Is it the same narrative? Have we heard this before? How dangerous is this? How bad is this actually? And is it a distraction? That's what I've been hearing. It's a distraction. And it's crazy that it happened once and then literally happened again and again. Like, those are red flags. Those are things that you look for and go, that is on purpose. That is orchestrated. That is purposeful. This is happening not by accident, but on purpose for a reason. And I think I know what it is. For the New World Order. For things to happen like that. America's too free. I keep telling you. What is our part to play? I still don't know. But all I know is until that day comes, until the Lord takes us, we're going to continue to preach the gospel here on this channel, update you with all this news, things that are happening. Please continue to educate me on things that you hear, things you're talking about, scripture, what the Lord is doing, what the Lord is saying. Other channels is totally fine. I'm just trying to gather all this information up and make sure I share it to as many people as possible. Whether one person watches it or a million, doesn't matter. It's all worth it to see people get saved, set free, and ultimately see them in heaven. So anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll see you in the next one.